Alright, today we are starting Chapter 5, Part 1 is complementary, supplementary, and vertical angles. So please copy this down in your notebook. Geometry deals with a lot of different angles. Today we're going to start with 3 types of angles that you should have learned about in 7th grade. So hopefully today is a review. Alright, so vocabulary, the most important thing in this section. So here we go. First vocabulary word that we need to copy down is a complementary angle. Complementary angles, 2 or more angles that create a 90-degree angle. And a 90-degree angle, remind me again, that has a special name. What's it called? A right angle. Good. So a complementary angle is 2 or more angles that add up to a right angle, which is 90 degrees. Please make sure you include the picture. Everybody take a look at your desk.
I'm looking at my desk.
What kind? The corner of your desk creates what?
A 90-degree angle.
A 90-degree angle. Corner starts with what?
C.
C. Complementary also starts with C. So when you think of complementary, think of the corner, think of 90 degrees. Just a simple way of remembering how many degrees complementary is. And then you can also think that a complement is the right thing to do. The next vocabulary word we're going to focus on are supplementary angles. Supplementary angles are 2 or more angles that create a straight angle. A straight angle. They have to add up to 180 degrees. Your graffiti today also told you another word. It's not just a straight angle or a supplementary angle. What else did it say they are called?
Right angle?
No, not right angle.
Line.
A linear pair.
I can see it.
Linear. We talked a lot about linear in the last 2 chapters. A line, a straight line, linear pair. We know that angle A plus angle B equals 90 degrees because those 2 angles together create a right angle. For supplementary, we know that angles A and B added together equals 180. So that's why we have angle A plus angle B equals 180.
Wow.
Sorry for the interruption.
Hi.
Alright, so the next word we'd like to talk about is the word adjacent. Adjacent angles. Adjacent really just means next to. Corey is adjacent to Kayla. Mateo is adjacent to Mohammed. When you refer to it with angles, you talk about 2 angles that share a vertex and a common side.
By the way, do I copy down the 2 pictures?
Yes, please. Oh, so, thank you. Alright, so for our adjacent angles, they share a vertex. This is the vertex right there. See where I made that black dot? That's the vertex. That's the point that they share. Okay, that's where those 2 angles meet up. Angle A and angle B, they meet up here, and they also share a common side. In this example right here, angle A and angle B are adjacent, but what else are they if you say angle A plus angle B? Angle A plus angle B has to equal?
Is it 2 or more, just 2?
2, because they have to share a common side. So it'll just be 2. Adjacent is just 2.
So it's kind of like the pairs where you get 2 lines and they intersect.
It's just talking about the point where they meet. A vertex is just the corner of an angle. So if I were to just draw like one angle here, this is the vertex. It's just the point of the angle where the 2 rays meet, the 2 sides. Okay. So this one right here, looking at this example, angle A plus angle B, they are adjacent, and they also what? They also equal up to 180 degrees. And that means they're what kind of angles?
Supplementary.
Supplementary angles, or they're on a straight line and they equal 180. This example right here, angle A and angle B are adjacent angles. And what does that red symbol right there mean? What does that red symbol, Jared? What does that mean?
It means it's a right angle.
Very good. And if it's a right angle, what can we say about angle A and angle B? Other than being adjacent, they are also equal to 90 degrees, which is what vocabulary word?
Complementary angle.
Complementary angle.
Well,
The other thing is, the two examples we gave you for adjacent angles, one that happens to be supplementary, one happens to be complementary, they don't necessarily have to be either one of those. Okay, those are just the two examples we gave you.
Thank you.
All right, the next, I think this might be the final vocabulary word for today, before we get started practicing, are vertical angles. Vertical angles are opposite each other. They're opposite each other, and they're made by two intersecting lines. So who can tell me a pair of vertical angles in this example? Who can tell me a pair of vertical angles? Let me fix this. Who can tell me a pair of vertical angles in this example? They're opposite angles created by two intersecting lines. Josiah, tell me one pair. What? Angle B and angle C. And this little symbol I keep writing, that's a symbol for an angle. You'll see it like this sometimes, or you might also see it with this like little curve through it.
I saw it on my fingers.
That just means angle. Okay, who can tell me another, I'm sorry, I wrote the same thing. Angle B and C. Who can tell me another pair of vertical angles? Josiah? C and A. Angle C and angle A. Now, looking at angles A and C, what do you notice about their size, about their measure? Aim? They are both acute angles. What else do we notice about their measure? Josiah?
They have to be the same amount.
They are the same. Vertical angles are
The same.
congruent.
Oh.
Remember that word?
Yeah.
Congruent, or the same measure.
What did I listen to?
We did talk about this last year. Okay, so that means that angles B and D are equal to each other. Angles A and C are equal to each other. Does anyone remember the symbol for congruent? Nobody remembers that symbol?
I think it's like,
Jared?
Is it? I'm not sure if it's the equal sign or something that they.
It has the equal sign in it.
I don't.
Aim?
Is it two squiggly lines?
It's not two squiggly lines. Two squiggly lines means about, or estimate.
But they have a line thing?
That's not equal.
That's not equal.
So angles B and angle D are congruent. That's the symbol for congruency.
What is it? Let's not call that sandwich.
We also know that angles A and angle C are also congruent. It's an equal sign with a squiggly on top. All right, so go ahead and copy this first example. You're going to draw two intersecting lines and name them angles 1 and angle 2. We want to identify them as complementary, supplementary, or neither. Raise your hand if you think these two angles are complementary. Raise your hand if you think these two are supplementary. Raise your hand if you think they're neither. They are supplementary. Supplementary is the correct answer. The second example, we have a 60-degree angle and we have a 30-degree angle. They're not directly next to each other, but they give us the measure of both. If we add 60 degrees and 30 degrees, what do we get? 90 degrees. So raise your hand if you think they are complementary. Raise your hand if you think they're supplementary. Raise your hand if you think they're neither. They are complementary. All right, our next example, we have an 85-degree angle and we have a 90-degree angle. Again, if I'm giving the measure of two angles, I'm going to add them up. What is 85 degrees plus 90 degrees? What do we get? 175. So are they supplementary, complementary, or neither? They are neither. Good. From letter B, again, we have two angles. They're not next to each other, but we can add them up to see. What is 75 plus 15? 90 degrees. Supplementary, complementary, or neither?
Complementary.
They are complementary. I'm just going to abbreviate that. All right, so here's a problem that's a little bit different. Okay? First off, we have how many angles here?
3. 2, my bad.
We have 2 angles. We have angle A, B, C, and we have angle C, B, D. I'm going to write those down. Angles A, B, C, and angles C, B, D. All right. What do these 2 angles together create?
Hey, right angle.
They create a right angle, which is what?
Complementary.
Complementary, which equals how many degrees?
90 degrees.
So we know that when we add angle ABC plus angle CBD, it's going to equal 90 degrees. Right? Okay. Well, what's the measure of angles ABC?
28.
It is 28 degrees.
Wow.
Angle ABC is 28 degrees. We have it right there. Okay. What is the measure of angle CBD?
2x.
2x. Because we have CBD, which is 2x, because we have it right here. And what do we have to do with those 2 angles? We have to add them together, and they equal how many degrees? 90 degrees. Yet again, we have to solve equations. What do I have to solve first? What do I have to do first?
Subtract 28.
Subtract 28 from both sides. 28 minus 28 cancels out. I'm left with 2x is equal to 62. Divide both sides by 2, and x is equal to 31. So we solved for x. X is equal to 31. But what is the measure of this angle? 2x, or 2 times 31, which is 62 degrees. We have another example on the front board. In your notes, I want you to try to write the equation that we would use for this example. Go ahead, when your answer, raise your hand. Almost everybody's finished, so let's take a look at this problem. If I close the gap between these 2 angles and I put them next to each other, they are what? They are supplementary because they would create a straight line. So we know that this angle plus this angle equals 180 degrees. 123 plus 3x equals 180. What do I have to get rid of first? Subtract 123 from both sides. I get 3x is equal to 57. Divide both sides by 3. X is equal to 19. And now it's also told me to find the missing angle, so I need to substitute it in. 3 times x, or 3 times 19, gives me. So this measure is 57 degrees. For this next example, there are actually 2 ways to go about doing this, or 2 ways to write an equation. I want you to take a minute with your partner to write an equation. All right, who would like to share with me what their equation is? Josiah M.
2x equals 90.
So you have, I'm going to go to the
X plus x.
So Josiah said x plus 90 equals 180 degrees. He looked at this as if it was a supplementary angle. Good. Who has something different? Because you can write a different equation for this. Who has a different equation? Josiah?
I have this, but now that I look at it, you have 2x plus 90 equals 180.
Well, I'm gonna solve that in a minute. But who has a different one? Go ahead. Aim.
I'm pretty sure that 2x equals 90.
So we're going to have x plus x equals 90. Aim went ahead and looked at it as a complementary angle. So let's solve these. I'm going to combine like terms first. So I have 2x plus 90 equals 180. Hold on. If I simplify down here too, don't I still get 2x equals 90? Okay. Now just take a look at this. Subtract 90 from both sides. 2x is equal to 90. Now, are they identical at this point?
Yeah.
Yes. I'm going to divide by 2, and x is equal to 45 degrees. Divide by 2 down here. X is equal to 45 degrees. That means each one of these is 45 degrees. Okay, our first angle is angles 1 and angle 2. Are they vertical, adjacent, or neither? They are adjacent. They are next to each other. They share a common vertex and a side. Angles 1 and angle 2 are adjacent. What about angles 2 and 5?
They are
2 and 5. Take a look. Are they adjacent, vertical, or neither? Are they next to each other? No. Are they created by two lines that intersect? Yes. No. So they are neither. Okay, our next one. We have angles 1 and 3. Karina? They are vertical. They're opposite angles created by two intersecting lines. Good.
Oh, to me, they just kind of look like a jig.
Angles 3 and 4, what are those? They are adjacent. Very good. Two more. Angles 3 and angle 5 are? Numbers 3 and 5 are neither.
Oh, wow.
And our last one is angles 1 and angle 4. They are neither as well. We will discuss this a little bit after lunch. Make sure you have it copied down. Once you're done, move on. Okay, let's review. Look at this angle here, this example. We have two lines that are intersecting. What are those two angles to one another? They are vertical. And what do we know about the measure of vertical angles?
They have the same.
They are equal. They're the same. They're congruent. So if this one is 50 degrees, what is X? 50 degrees. Good. Copy this down in your notes. Our next example says find the value of X and then find the missing measure. So again, what are these two angles to each other? They're vertical, which means they're equal or congruent. So if I had to write an equation, what would my equation say? Josiah?
2x plus 120 equals 180.
They are equal. They're not supplementary, so you can't add them up to 180. They're equal to each other. So listen to what I just said. They are equal to each other. They are equal to each other. To each other. They are equal to one another. Mohammed, what's my equation?
2x equals 120.
Thanks. This one is equal to this one. So 2x is equal to 120. They're equal to another. I need to divide by 2. And x is equal to 60. Am I done this problem?
No.
I want to know what's the missing measure. So 2 times 60 is 120 degrees, which is true.